Hey guys, Jason Castle, BassBoatElectronics.com. We had the pleasure of rigging Taylor Watkins' boat for the 2022 fishing season. We got this bad boy decked out. Excited to show you guys how we rigged it and what he'll be running this year and kind of the importance of how we set it up and why we set it up that way. So, Taylor, you've already been out. You know what's under the cover. We tweaked a couple of things. We're going to do a full system check and show you guys. What do you think so far? First impression.
I told my wife the other day that this is the best setup boat that I've ever had, and I don't have any excuses anymore. So if I don't catch them, it's on me now. It ain't on the equipment, it ain't on the boat. I've truly got the best setup that I've ever had.
This Camus is sick. It's one of our favorite installs we did this year. It is just an awesome, incredible boat. Back compartment's laid out, front compartment. All right, he's gonna take off the cover. We're gonna dive in and show you everything about it. We're also going to do some on the water content, so stay tuned. All right guys, here we are on the bow of Taylor Watkins' boat. This thing is decked out. We've got Garmin units, dual 1243 XSV units, of course on a dual stack mount from BoatLogix. They even got the HydroWave on the side deal. We've got a GPS antenna from Garmin, the GX24 for his heading and just more accurate up here as far as marking and getting on waypoints. 50-inch Garmin Force, LiveScope, the LVS32 right now, waiting on the LVS34, so it'll be in soon. HydroWave mounted on there. Garmin Force, brushless motor, variable voltage. We'll go in what's powering all this stuff in the back of the boat later on. We want to start up here on the bow. This is where you do the work, man. This is where you put the fish in the boat. So this is priority probably, I mean, other than starting the motor and running down the lake, priority number one. So I love the layout. I mean, as far as how clean it is, they're elevated just enough to where they're not in the way and easy to reach. You've been on the water. What do you think of the whole layout up here on the bow of this Camus?
I love it. I love how open this area is as far as the Camus goes. The two Garmins up here are awesome. Like, I've gotten to play with them just a little bit. I've got to spend like 1 or 2 days out on the water, and I used them back, I guess 5 or 6 years ago, and then now going back again. I mean, I loved them wherever I had them before, but man, they're so much better now. There's so much more stuff that you can do, so many more things, heading wise, and getting on a waypoint and marking, and man, I just forgot how easy they were to use. But
yeah, it's a pretty clean, simple system that Garmin offers, and of course the LiveScope and just live facing sonar. I mean, what do you think about the mapping now? Because it's a pretty big change from you going mapping wise.
Yeah, and like I said, I only spent 1 or 2 days out there, but as far as I can tell, it's got everything that the other 2 units have built into this one.
Yeah.
As far as depth shading and being able to drop your lake level. I dropped my lake level, 5 or 6 feet. I was down on Watts Bar playing around, dropped it 5 or 6 feet, and man, it was dead on.
Yeah.
And it even changes the depth, of where you're at. If it says it's 10 feet, it's 10 feet.
Yeah.
So that was crucial, especially you get on places up here around Cherokee, Douglas, Norris, and it's 30 or 40 feet. You can adjust for that, and then your map also represents it.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience on the lake, there's a couple areas that I've fished that Garmin's the only one that has the mapping, but that lake level offset, I think, is key. I mean, that's a huge safety factor, and then obviously it just makes it easier at the console for navigation-wise. But yeah, it's a really cool setup, really clean, really excited how it played out. I want to talk a little bit about the BoatLogix mount. You see how it looks. We saw the reality of putting it in. That thing is over-engineered. That sucker is stout. So really cool design. I mean, you basically have a backing plate that through bolts on the factory fiberglass, and then you got the outer plate that attaches to it. So, I mean, as far as rigidity, I mean, there's pretty much nothing stronger on the market. So that's a really cool setup. It is tedious on going in install-wise, but the result is, pretty much one of the beefiest mounts on the market. So I know you partnered up with BoatLogix this year. That's kind of a new partnership for you, but install wise, I mean, that thing, I mean, it couldn't really get any better. Got the power pole switches up here. Those are pretty much mandatory. What do you think about the Garmin foot pedal? A lot of people are not used to it, so it's kind of a shock and awe, but after being on the water just a little bit, what do you think?
Yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but it's just like anything. I mean, whenever I got the Minn Kota, it took going from the old Minn Kota to new, it took some getting used to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like anything. You just got to figure out your foot placement, and it's lighter than the Ultrex.
Yeah.
I mean, it responds quick. It's awesome, but dude, the power of that Garmin with these ProGuide batteries is absolutely unbelievable. I kid you not, I kicked that thing on high and took off across the lake. This is a 21-foot boat. I'm pretty sure we were going 6 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh,
it was
dude.
like 5 to 6 miles per hour. I was like, this is unbelievable.
That thing will go. As far as efficiency and power, I mean, it's the strongest motor I've had on the water, hands down. I mean, it's pretty cool design. I've been running the Garmin. I've ran all of them. I really like where you can line up with the head. To me, the live sonar mounted on the trolling motor, that's a huge debate, separate or trolling motor. That really comes down to fishing style. But for me, I want my hands free and I want to be able to move my live sonar around with my foot. So, on other motors, I like that head fix where I can use that whole head to line up. So, I mean, as far as full system and integration goes, Garmin's got it going on. That's why we recommended and really wanted to run all Garmin this year. It's just clean, simple. It's helped me simplify things and just put fish in the boat, and I think it's going to do the same for you. So the bow's pretty much loaded, decked out, clean, everything you need. And we'll go to the console, check that bad boy out, and we'll stop off at the back of the boat for the powerhouse. Let's go take a look. All right, guys, here we are at the console, Taylor Watkins boat. We've got an 8616 from Garmin. Biggest unit you can gimbal bracket mount. But here's the thing with the 86 series, they're slim. So you don't really have any buttons or anything on the screen. You got one power button, sleek design, but it kind of maximizes your screen space without over consuming mounting wise. Of course, we got a BoatLogix mount here on the console. Again, same design as the bow. You've got that backing plate that through bolts in, so it's a solid design, and you got your outer plate that bolts onto that. So really neat engineering from BoatLogix. As far as the Garmin 86 series go, true 1080 resolution, and it's got dual channel sonar. A lot of people don't really realize that. The benefit is we've got a GT8 In-Hull Tansducer and the GT56. So you have two 2D sonar sources. That enables you to have depth through the hull so you get accurate bottom reading running down the lake. I mean, you should even be able to cruise slowly, mark bait fish, I mean, everything. So performance-wise, that's a setup. You get in unfamiliar water, you can just track that bottom. Neat setup without having that GT56 in the way getting knocked off. So the 86 series, dual channel sonar, that's their top level performance. This thing is a beast. What do you think about the whole design? And, well, I don't even know if you've had on the water on the latest software. You ran this one on the previous format. So we'll dive in a little bit more on the new update. The fronts were updated, but when we got everything synced in, I love the new layout. It is different. Anything with changes, a lot of people, change is not comfortable. But performance-wise and simplicity, they really did a good job.
I can't believe how quick they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got, what do we have? Almost 2,000 waypoints or something. Over 2,000 waypoints downloaded from my old graphs to this one. It hasn't slowed down a beat. I mean, it is quick as you touch, it's responding. And that's big, especially when you pull up your map, say you're taking off and running down the lake and you want to pull up a full map real quick and you click full map. Well, then it takes 10 seconds or 15 seconds for it to load and you're looking for your spot that you're going to. This one is not like that. I mean, it is instantaneous. And
processing-wise, they've done a great job. And, I mean, this is just a beefy unit. Like, I mean, you can tell it's just made really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing, the viewing angle on this thing is really cool with polarized sunglasses. If you have your head tilted, same thing on the bow. I mean, the viewing angle's really critical, and obviously on the water and the environment, it's a high glare environment, so that screen makes a big difference. I mean, It's sleek, it's simple, it works, and you've got all the bells and whistles in there. Nice thing that I think on Garmin, you can make it as simple as you want, or you can make it, you can get in there with overlays, you can customize indefinitely. So I like that. It's kind of suited well for everybody. And durability wise, which is key, you know, durability is a big deal. I mean, we don't do any warranty on the GPSMap series. I mean, none. So I think this thing's built. Another thing that we'll touch on, and we'll dive in more wiring wise, but you know, this boat's rigged with a C-Clear power harness. So you've got dual 8-gauge wire. You've got 8-gauge wire going to the console unit only, and 8-gauge up to the bow as well, power and everything. So, I mean, obviously getting the power there.
I mean, you start this motor up and there is no flicker, there's no nothing. It doesn't change anything at all. And,
I mean, running this setup, dude, you got to have the power. You got to have the foundation of the batteries. So we've got some really good power back there. But then getting that power to the unit, you know, that's a lot of things people neglect. And C-Clear's got a really cool harness, super convenient. You know, we've got them on our website, but I mean, that thing, you can tie in pretty much anything you want as far as unit-wise goes. So it's a neat design there.
Super easy install too.
Yeah, it is really easy install. I mean, pull those wires, as far as that goes, you know. There is some occasions we make our own custom harnesses, but now with how easy that thing is, you know, it's pretty much plug and play. We can just run it in there and zip it in, so that's been awesome. But yeah, I mean, the BoatLogix, that Garmin 8616, me personally, you know, you've ran dual units. I mean, dual units are awesome, but you know, it just complicates things in my opinion. You know, if you can get away with one large unit, you know, and it simplifies your power and your networking. I mean, there's advantages to dual, but you know, mounting wise and structure, my personal preference, one big bad unit. So you've got that sucker there.
Me personally, you know, whenever I fish offshore and I'm graphing, like it's a offshore type tournament. But a lot of times I'm in tight quarters around by docks, things like that. You know, I don't want this big giant thing sticking out. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to tear it off, you know, or something. So this being slick and nice and neat and all compact, it has everything that I need. I can run a full screen up here all the way across of side image, left and right, mapping. I got plenty of room for mapping. I got plenty of room for down scan or, you know, whatever, 2D, anything that I want there. And then the other thing, and we'll go into this more, but how quick it is just to go to a full screen with this Garmin. I mean, there's no mash this button, mash that button, mash this button, get over here, click this. It's literally one click and it's full screen. And then one click back and you're back to where you were. You know, so I've been highly impressed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of settings and everybody fishes and operates a little bit differently, but once you get a couple customized pages, you know, you're literally just toggling between those two. So, you know, the same thing on the bow, you know, you'll set them up and it's just pretty easy to go from your different pin locations back and forth. And it's sleek, it's reliable, durable, and it's, I mean, crystal dang clear.
It is that.
All right, let's dive back there. You ready to check out that powerhouse?
Yeah, let's
go. All right, guys, here we are in the powerhouse of Taylor Watkins 2022 rig. Of course, it's powered by all ProGuide. We've got lithium on the trolling motor side, and we've got AGM on the cranking and electronic side. So the power pole charge, that's his onboard charger for AC charging, and it does on the water DC charging from the alternator. So with the power pole charge, you know, we normally will either do a dual battery system, dedicated starting, and house battery. The power pole charge, it doesn't like the relay. So we do two Group 31s in parallel. So we create one big battery bank. That gives you the capacity needed to run these all day, run your aerators, and it also gives you that power to start the motor. So we just double that up. So we got two of those ProGuides. These are the 31 MX 925. We got those available on our website and in the showroom. So again, wiring wise, I'll tuck a little specifics here, just so you know, but when you parallel two batteries, you know, you just basically go positive, positive, negative, negative. There's only one key component that a lot of people kind of overlook, and it'll still operate fine if you don't do it this way. However, you know, what you want to do is take the positive off one battery and the negative off the other. You're not crossing them by any means because they're already paralleled, but what that does is your current has to pull through both batteries. That's ideal for charging and when you're discharging those batteries. Just creates those batteries in harmony, one big battery bank. So, you know, we had to do, there's so much power wire going back here. We did add you a negative post, just because the simple fact you're only really supposed to have 4 leads going each post as far as ABYC code. So, you know, you had 11 negative leads. So even if we divide that out between the two, it was just a little bit too much. So we did that as far as simplicity goes and just reliability. Power pole charge in there, that thing's really, really cool as far as how it charges both your trolling motor side and your 12-volt side. And we've got the C-Clear harness coming off those as well that powers the console and the bow. The nice thing on this Camus boat, you got 2 battery switches. You got your trolling motor battery switch and your main 12-volt battery switch over here as well. So simple on-off, disconnect everything so you don't have to worry about any power loss and power draw. We got the power pole, blade pumps mounted nice and clean, and you can still access this bottom hatch for all your pumps, which is one of the, I think, coolest things about it, you know. Most boats have batteries and stuff mounted in here in this console where you can't access those if you need to, and so that's a pretty neat deal. And then to top it off, we've got the 31 M100 lithium batteries. 3 of those in series for your 36 volts. Those things are beasts, dude.
A ton of power. Ton of power. We're ready to send a rocket ship to the moon, buddy.
Yeah, you could power a small city back here, so you've got the power. But you know, the nice thing about it is extended days, and you do quick turnaround times.
Yep.
I mean, so you kind of need that extra power. You know, you kind of want to have that overpower and situation, high current, high wind.
Bed fishing.
Bed fishing, long days. You know, you go through quite a few different scenarios that most people just don't do. You're recreational fishermen, but I mean, ProGuide, they've been awesome. They're a new product line for us, but I think we sold it out of the AGMs that we brought in like a week.
Yep.
So, I mean, those have been awesome batteries. You've got a lot going back here, so I'm pretty OCD. It's not as 100% as neat and clean as I would like, but you know, that's kind of the battle, to have everything labeled and everything and just orientated the way it needs to be with this much stuff. You know, you want it manageable, not perfect. So you've got a clean, reliable system that's going to be durable all year long, and you've got the products needed. So of course, all this stuff's available on our website. So if you guys need anything, let us know. But yeah, I mean, I can tell you one thing, you know, on all these big boats that we rig, all our pros, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. We got to put all this stuff back there in that battery compartment and figure out how we're going to fit it all. This has by far been the easiest one. I mean, there's a lot going on. 2 AGM batteries, power pole charge, power pole pumps, and 3 100 amp per hour batteries.
And we still got room.
Have the room to open up and access your pumps. And
yeah,
that's
I'm going to actually mount my prop in back here. I usually have to carry my prop in a compartment somewhere, and I'm not going to have to do that this year. I'm actually going to mount my prop back here, and it'll be out of the way, and you know, if I need it, it's there, and I got a spare prop ready to roll, and I won't have to worry about it banging up all my compartments and stuff. This is really an awesome setup.
In this day and age, this is unheard of, and this is awesome. This is what we need. So yeah, I'm excited about it. You've got the power for days, and I think this is going to be an incredible setup for you this year. All right, guys, we're going to finish it off on the tail end. We're going to go over some power poles, the motor and everything, and finish it off. But all right, what do you think so far? I mean, we're almost to the tail end. I mean, it's simple, it's clean, but there's a lot going on.
I'm ready to go catch a few.
I'm excited. We'll get on the water. All right, guys, let's finish it up back here on the back of the boat. Cue foam.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of Taylor Watkins 2022 Camus, Bass Boat Electronics, Bait Works, the whole 9 yards, all your great sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, we feel honored to have you on our team, and it was a privilege to be able to rig your boat. I mean, we put a lot of love and labor into it, and I think it's going to be an incredible machine for you this fishing season. So Hope you enjoy it. I mean, you kind of trusted me. You said, I mean, you let me, you know, kind of pick it out.
I mean, you're the expert, dude. That's, you know, you're the brains behind this whole ordeal. So
we'll see. You know, I mean, if you love the system, it's a win. I think you're gonna love it. You know, I've ran them all. I think this system really sets you up for success. So obviously that's why we did it. So, you know, Garmin's a great partner of ours. Simple, clean, and they're on the forefront of technology and innovation. So, I mean, there's no better company to have on your side than someone who's active in the market. So, you know, we're going to finish it off. You know, Power Pole is just a huge player. I mean, if you don't have it, I mean, it's a staple. You know, nowadays, you know, it used to be you pull up at a gas station and people are like, what are them things hanging off the back of that boat?
Yeah.
Are them antennas? You don't get that anymore. You know,
no, it's normal.
Pretty much,
nowadays you see a boat without them and you're like, that's weird. You know, so it's, you know, it's just like everything else. It's become one of the have-tos of fishing. So.
I mean, they're a critical component. I mean, especially, you know, for what you do. I mean, every time you use them. So, you know, and of course, Mercury, they've got an awesome service and reliability and warranty deal. So, I mean, and in this environment, you know, you've only got a couple big players. I mean, last year you ran Yamaha. This year you ran Mercury, and honestly, you know, you pretty much had to run Mercury.
It boiled down to you couldn't get a Yamaha.
So, you know, I'm excited for you. I've ran the Mercury. You know, we've got a full Mercury service center here. And, you know, we see the good and bad, and it's 90% good. So, I mean, you know, you're going to have some wear and tear and some normal issues, but the nice thing about Mercury is they've got the thing in place to where they take care of you and get you back on the water as soon as possible. And of course, you got the TH Marine Atlas jack plate. I mean, again, just like Power Pole, it's a staple. Like, you don't have that.
It's hard to fish a new body of water without an Atlas jack plate. Just, you know, going into shallow areas or somewhere that you don't really know. You just jack that thing up and idle in there or whatever, and then whenever you get back in there and you find a spot that's got a little depth to it, well, you just raise that baby up, jump up on pad, you're ready to go. I mean, that I will not own another boat without one, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you play with it in rough water? Do you lower it down handling wise, or?
Yeah, this Camus, I mean, I've only ran it, you know, 2 or 3 times so far, but it likes it down. It likes that jack plate to be down, which I like that personally too, because that means that you got more room to go up. You know, so if it likes to run good down, then wherever you do get into shallow water, you've got more room to play with it and raise it up, or wherever you know, get in those situations that you do need it.
Yeah, one cool thing, I mean, it's kind of a little thing, but what do you think about the drain plug deal, you know, the in and outs, you know, the cable system?
No bending down, getting way up in under there, screwing in the, you know, or if you know, forget, you know, you just run back here, oh, darn, I forgot, you know, so
I mean,
it happens.
I had one of my guys, he was launching on a Thursday night tournament, and his bilge pump started. And I ran up there like, dude, you left the plug out, freaking out. And he's like, oh, it's no big deal.
No,
just plug it in, let my bilge pump do it. I was like, oh my gosh.
We're spoiled, aren't we?
Get your trailer. That's awesome. All right, Taylor, thank you for everything. I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you,
dude. This thing is pimped out. I say we take it out there, get some on-the-water content, and, you know, get them dialed in.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys, if you need anything, make sure you follow Taylor Watkins, all his social media. Make sure you like, share, subscribe this video. If you need anything, have any electronics questions, feel free to reach us out. And of course, our inventory is live on the website, bassboatelectronics.com. All right, let's do it.
See it.